Y'all see how they just
This
attacked
is
me?
your first
All three of
practice
these women.
run.
All three of these women said I can't handle no baby. She said I can save a life.
Yeah,
I can't.
Huge difference.
I can't handle. If I can save a life, that means I can babysit.
You gonna be causing the accidents that lead you to save the life.
If you can save the life, you can keep them alive.
But you gonna be causing the accidents that lead.
What's up, y'all? So I'm about to have a couple of people over to have them go ahead and talk a little bit about third year and how it's been treating them, and kind of their experiences within the hospitals and the clinics. Most of these people I've actually been in a class with, so I have a little bit closer relationships with them since we used to study together and spend more time together, so I know these people pretty well. So I'm just giving you the opportunity to learn more about them and learn more about their experiences while in medical school, specifically as a third-year medical student. Mind you, third year is different than the first 2 years in medical school because it's kind of like the changing of the tide almost. You're going from mostly book-oriented learning to clinic learning, and you're actually taking care of patients. You're putting everything that you learned from undergrad through the first 2 years of medical school into practice. And I'm really looking forward to third year because I'm looking forward to getting to hospitals, talking to people, being able to be a human again, because these first 2 years seem like you're locked down in a dungeon with full of medical literature, and all you're doing is just reading just a whole bunch of cases, medical cases, learning about biochemistry and that type of thing. I know I'm over exaggerating, but you get my point. It doesn't yield itself well to what being a doctor and being a physician actually is. So in the first 2 years, you're almost doing something that you won't do again within your career. So that's why I'm looking forward to it. I'll let these folks give you a little bit more to what it's like, and I'll come holler back at y'all after they're done, and we can chop it up from there.
Hi, I'm Miss Chalet. I'm a third-year medical student at MCW. That's the Medical College of Wisconsin. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I went to the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana for undergrad. I'm interested in either peds or OB-GYN.
I'm Francis. I'm originally from Milwaukee, but also grew up in Northern California. I'm a third-year student at MCW, the Medical College of Wisconsin. I'm interested in child and adolescent psychiatry, and I went to undergrad at UC Berkeley.
Hey, my name is Dewante Shuford. I am from the south suburbs of Chicago. I went to the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign as well. I am a current third-year medical student at MCW. What am I interested in? I am interested in emergency medicine. I like it a lot. Keeps me busy.
And I'm Morgan Ashley. I'm also a third year at MCW, originally from Chicago. I went to undergrad at Purdue University, and I'm interested in OB-GYN.
I am currently doing the OBGYN thing. I'm terrified of delivering babies, but I guess it's something that I gotta learn. But this first week was pretty decent. I'm doing the gynecology portion, and I get to talk to the women on how to deliver the baby, what month and what week I got to see a whole bunch of different surgeons, which was pretty nice. I saw like this thing called the dermoid cyst removal on the ovary, which was like amazing. I'll be waking up like not too early. I was in IM last time. They had me working like every single day, and this time I actually get the weekends off. So this is the reason why I get to talk to y'all. So that's pretty nice too. So yeah, OB so far is cool. I'm not scared to deliver any babies. The OB ladies, so they like all that stuff. So yeah, y'all like OB, right?
I feel like right now I'm waking up probably the earliest out of all of
Yeah.
our rotations. I'm on peds, inpatient, and I have to be there at 6.
Yeah.
So I wake up at like 5 probably. Yeah.
That's terrible.
I'm getting a recovery from surgery with being on an elective while I'm on a medicine procedures. So now since we don't have to be there till 8, I don't have to pre-round on patients or anything like that. I get to sleep in, which means I sleep in till 6:30.
Wait,
That's nice.
I'm a slow person. You're ready in the morning.
you was working the 80 hours, or was you working 80 hours? I know you was working 80 hours, but were you also working 80 hours in surgery?
On surgery,
Did you
yeah.
report it?
Yeah, see, that's terrible.
No, because the thing, if you look at the requirements, it says you can't average more than 80 a week.
What you
And I wasn't at 8, I was at 76, but that was like 1 week. That's not an average, so that's how they get you. They're petty with that.
That does not make it right. For all the viewers out there, that does not make it right. Yeah. For me, were you gonna say something?
I would say the worst part is that you don't get paid for it.
That's
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing all this if I actually got paid.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And my family still can't fathom that.
Yeah.
Like, how are you not getting paid when you're going in every day working?
Well, I think it'll
Yeah.
be interesting because like I had a cousin and she was like, "Oh well, you're only a couple years away from making $600,000 a year." I'm like, "Who gonna be making that?"
Right. Where is that from?
600,000.
I'm like, I don't know who that is. Maybe the neurosurgeons, but
Yeah.
not I.
Yeah. I don't know if
$600,000 in
anybody
debt. That sounds more realistic. 600,000 in debt.
Probably somewhere in that number. I did a post back too. I know some.
Saying we did too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I remember.
You were just smart when you actually worked.
Wait, where was your post at?
Mine,
Work too.
mine was at Cal State East Base in the Bay Area in California, in Hayward.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a small one. So on my end, I just started internal medicine. I'm working in the hospital service at Freighter. I'd say I get up later than I should. But technically I'm supposed to be there at like 9 or 8:45 ish.
Hospitalist was great. You round later.
They're chill. I mean, the hours are chill. It's just like
I'm reporting somebody.
I've only had two doctors I worked with so far. But it could be hot or cold. You could have a really cool doctor, and it could be good hours, and they're chill, and they love teaching, or it could be a little different.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So I'd probably get up. To be honest, at 7:30, and then I throw all my stuff on. Maybe brush my teeth.
Maybe.
I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. No, I definitely brush my teeth.
He was like, "Well, I'm wearing a mask anyway."
No, I make sure to
Where my mask at?
Yeah, I'm getting roasted today. Yeah. So yeah, no. The 2 non-negotiables: deodorant and 3 deodorant, brush your teeth, and always have pants on before you leave the door.
Oh yeah.
So I check those 3 boxes, and I
What
get
about
out
the
there.
hot spots?
The hot spots?
The whole bag.
Hot spots.
They
Oh,
don't
you mean
care
like
about
wipe
that.
them?
Wash them.
Oh yeah. I usually take a shower the night before, but y'all out there probably don't care about my bathing habits. But
Don't shower the day of, because it's like super
No,
cold.
speak
Like
for
the
yourself.
winter. In the winter?
I still do.
In the winter?
Yes.
No, at nighttime, because I'll be like getting like these breezes and all that. Then I gotta go to my car and start it up, and I gotta wait like 10 minutes. No,
I
it's
would
terrible.
prefer
Automatic
to shower like the
Oh, yeah,
day
sure.
of, but that makes me run late, so I have to do it like the night before.
I'm the same way.
I don't know what I'll be doing, but I end up late.
Yeah.
By the way, I was in house staff. I had to be there by 7, and I stayed at like 5. And that was like
Be
every
there by
day.
7. Wait, where were you at?
Yeah, I had to be there.
I had house staff in Freighter.
Me too. What the heck?
I had to be
Yeah.
there by 7 too.
Yeah. They let me get
Maybe
there.
I'm just forgetting the Disney memory.
Yeah, it was
The
sad.
only
post
bad
call was
hours
bad.
are
Post
surgery and seem like peds, but I didn't know peds was like this because at the end of surgery I was like, thank God I never have to wake up before 5 a.m. again. Then the first day I had to wake up
Yeah.
early.
Hours are hard.
I
Yeah.
wanted to get there before 6 since it was the first day. So I set my alarm for 4 something. I'm like, I thought I was done with this.
Yeah. So, and also on my end, even though the hours are a little bit better, it's still a lot of responsibility. And again, it kind of depends. But like with the second doctor that I had, it's like I was telling some of the folks earlier that it really felt like I was an intern, like it was my first year of residency, just because it's like it's literally you and the doctor. And like in this case, well, for the first person, they're pretty chill, and they were like not, you know, helping teach me and sharing the load and the responsibility. But with the second person, you just like do this, do that, and do everything, figure out all this complicated stuff, and then just update me later. And then yeah, that wasn't so fun this week, but we'll see if it comes up later in the conversation.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty lucky. I was kind of lucky in internal medicine. I had some super nice attendants. They didn't like I guess the quote like pimping, and they ask you all these crazy questions and they expect you to know it. I got pimped my last day, and I mean it was like a good hour, like just like asking me questions on this patient that I thought I did some research on. It was like this diabetic type 1 patient. I thought I did some good research on it. She started talking about like did the dude have bed bug? Did the dude have so like, okay, what do you treat with bed bugs? I'm like, I don't know. She was like, it's a medication. I'm like,
I didn't know that.
permethrin. That's the medication apparently that you
I
can
didn't
treat.
know that.
And then she was like,
How would we know
he
that,
also
though?
I don't know. Yeah, she was like, what about high blood pressure? I'm like, she's like, what are you gonna do for that? I'm like, we can give him some amlodipine. They're like, what about swelling? I'm like, oh, it causes swelling too. You know, they just asking me all these different types of questions. Yeah, but I got pimped for like a good hour. But she said I held myself up like pretty well, so I was proud of myself. But I knew like maybe like 40% of the questions. So.
That's the thing about pimping. Like, I don't know the answer, but I'm gonna say it like I do.
Yep, you gotta be confident.
I'm gonna say it like I do because one time, like on trauma, I was getting, I guess, pimped. He's known for being like he loves to teach, and like they say he's joking around, but like. He was like asking like how many surgeries did he have, and I was like he had this many, and he had this. So I was like I'm giving him right.
Yeah.
He was like who performed the surgeries? I'm like nah, come on now, you
That's
get a little
extra.
ridiculous.
That's too much.
But he was being funny, but he was like who performed the surgeries? I'm like well you got me because I'm like I said freighter like
Right, a surgeon.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer though.
yeah.
But that's the thing I'm not good with. Like, if I'm not confident in my answers, it doesn't come off as being confident. Like, when I feel like I'm wrong, I can't say a wrong answer confidently.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is hard.
Like, how do you treat heart attacks? I'm like, aspirin?
Yeah, I say it with like
Morphine?
a question. Yeah, 'cause I wonder, or I'll be watching for their body language because some of them they'll be like, they're like, sure you
You're
want
like,
like
yep,
that? So I just be like, it was one resident, she wouldn't give me anything. I'm steady looking at her like,
You got
do
the stone
something.
face.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, give me something.
There was one time I remember we were rounding and I wasn't paying attention. Like I was like, oh, let me look up and see if my patient's labs came back. And all of a sudden I hear my attending say, so Morgan, why do we want to give the patient Flagyl? I'm like, first of all, I wasn't even paying attention. And two, what the heck is Flagyl? I didn't know at the time it was metronidazole.
Yeah.
So I was like,
by the way, metronidazole, Flagyl, she's talking about antibiotics.
Yeah.
For people who don't know. But
And
yeah.
so the intern was like, I love it when the interns and residents like try to help you. So they'll be like, and I'm like, I was trying to lean back further because I couldn't hear. But I'm like, dang, like I wasn't even paying attention. I'm up here trying to get ready, like I got the lab values because they just came back, and here she go asking me questions. And I was like, I bet you I'll never forget why you used Flagyl after that.
Yeah.
They talk about you, like if they real hard on you, I know it's like, that's the toughest thing, like when they like super hard on you and everything, and like they work your nerves and you don't know anything, but you never forget that afterwards. Like you never forget any of that stuff. Cause it's like, you like sweating and everything, like I don't know it. And it's like, it's like embedded in you, like once they say it.
You
Like,
be sweating?
I have.
Hey,
I probably did.
I'll be sweating, like my chest be sweating. I'll be like
I've
head.
had palpitations,
It's
but
anxiety.
I don't know if I'll be
When
sweating.
we first started rotations, I went in the bathroom. I'm like, dang, I was this nervous.
I'm a bald head man. So
But I
I'm
do
like,
take advantage of the fact that we're
Show the
No.
in.
Stop it. It's the reason why I got this hat on.
Right.
I take advantage of the fact that like we're at the beginning and we're expected not to know anything. So I don't feel too embarrassed when I don't know, because I'm like, I'd rather not know now than when I'm attending and someone
Yeah,
asks
that's
me
real.
this.
That's what my resident told me today. She was like, ask all the stupid questions now.
I agree.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I also feel like there's like a non-toxic way to do quote unquote pimping. You know, like you don't have to do it with. I've been unfortunately a few times on the other side of like people that do it because they're really just trying to break you down or make you feel bad. But by and large, I've been lucky this year that it's it's more just like like what everybody's saying, just to ask the dumb questions so that we can know it later and teach it and all that stuff. So
I ain't gonna lie, I got my feelings hurt like a few times though. Like
Yeah.
one time.
it's hard.
Yeah, there was a time in surgery, I'm like, oh my God, he probably thinks I'm the dumbest person on earth. But he was trying to give me a hint. I forgot what it was. It was a minimal surgery, and like so the techs always like kind of give you hints. So they're like, oh, this person, like, make sure you study beforehand, because they like to pimp students. That's what they were doing for me, and I was
That's
like,
awesome.
okay, so this person.
That's really nice.
So I
of them.
finally had a surgery with him. I had studied anatomy. I had studied this procedure. So I'm like, okay, whatever questions he has for me, I'm gonna know it. And of course, the basic stuff I didn't know. So I forgot what he had asked me, but he was trying to give me hints, and he was like, when they take your blood, what do they do after? And I was like, send it to the lab. And everybody started laughing, and I'm like, oh my God. He was like, and he laughed himself, and he was like, no, you apply pressure to stop the bleeding. I'm like,
I mean, you wasn't wrong, though.
yeah, that's what
I mean, you wasn't wrong.
I'm like,
I mean, they do
send
take
it
us to the lab. They gonna take us somewhere.
He didn't say what do you do to the
Yeah,
arm.
where
He
you
just
at,
said
right?
What do you do?
I was like, but like, I guess it broke the ice, because usually like he's a little bit on the rigid side, but like when I did that, like everyone started laughing. I'm like, I hate that I had to be the butt of the joke, but
As
and
long as
after
everybody
that,
started laughing.
after that, his surgeries were pretty relaxing. He was like trying to tell jokes and stuff, and I'm
That's
like,
cool.
okay, so at least me
Yeah.
showing my
Yeah.
cluelessness was a good.
Yeah.
They be like that meme where it be like, when you ask your patient, what brought you in today? And they be like, it all
all
started
started.
when I was born.
2 hours later.
It's hard. It's an art to like redirect and like all that and cut it
Yeah,
short.
I
Like
suck at
I'm
that.
Still
I'm
having to
sucking
show
with that.
sympathy. Like, I'm really sorry, but let's get back to when you were telling me about.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a whole story. Hey, y'all know like that physical exam, y'all know like y'all read the template, like like let's say for cardiac, they were like it's like no murmurs, no gallops, no rubs.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a rub was.
I don't either. I don't know
Wasn't
what a
either. I had
gallop
to
is.
read
either.
it.
So this dude, like he got on me for like a good 2 hours, and so I'm like, I went through my little whole thing, like my little auscultations. I'm like, yeah, it was clear, like good heart sound. I'm going with the basics, and I ain't hear anything. No murmurs, no gallops, no rubs. He was like, okay. He's like, what exactly is a rub? And my eyes must have got me like, rub. And I'm
Oh,
like,
is it like a friction rub?
so yeah, so
But what does it sound like?
yeah.
Like, I know
So
it was
what's
like,
it, he was like, what does it sound? He's like, what exactly is a rub? And I'm like, crap. I'm like, what is a rub? I'm like, I just know I heard like a heart sound, and I thought I thought it was regular. He was like, well, he was from like a different accent. He was like, he went in on. He was like, it's called the pericardial rub. And he was like, it sounds like the friction of your hair. But he went in on me, like, and then after that, it was like no matter what I said, like, so I went from cardiac, and I was like respiratory. And then I was like,
like,
yeah.
what a bronchi.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, it sounded like clear lung sounds and everything. He was like, did you hear any bronchi? He was like, did you hear any bronchial sounds? I'm like, bronchial sounds. I'm like,
I had an attendant that
and I swear I did not notice. Like, I'm like, crap. Because you just go with the template, so you
You'll
like,
never forget.
yeah, but I never forget. Like that same night, I'm like looking up pericardial friction rubs. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? I'm like, okay, what is this different heart sound? And I try to listen to every single murmur. I'm like, okay, I know every single murmur. The aortic stenosis. I'm like, okay, I got it. And I'm like, let me listen to it a couple more times. But I tell you, like, that's what I mean. Like, when they go hard on you, it's like it hurts your feelings. Like, it hurts your feelings. But at the end of the day, you end up learning that stuff. You start looking it up again, like the next day, because you don't want to get like, you don't want to be like proven wrong, and you don't want to like mess up again. So I mean, it helps, but it does hurt your feelings sometimes. But yeah, he went hard. He went like a good 2 hours. And then after that, to end it off, after he got done with me, he started talking about the football game, and he was like, so what about that football? Like, nothing ain't happened. I'm like, dang, so you just hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start talking about the football game.
Like we're all best
And
friends.
then on top of that, he asking me about football. I don't watch no football either. So I'm
So
like,
now you feeling
so
it
now
too?
I'm feeling that too. Like, I don't watch
That's
football. I'm like, I mean, I watch the boxing sports and combat, but it's like, unfortunately, I don't do the football. But he knew everything about the football sports. And then my residents, they knew everything about, so they started talking for like another hour. So I'm still feeling like bad about like, you know, messing up for like that 2 hours that he went in on me. Then they talk another hour
About football.
I'm like, dang, bro. Like, I can't even contribute. So it was terrible.
Yeah,
It was a horrible day.
I'm sorry, man.
But I got strong.
Was this the attendant with his own website? Because I saw you walking around with one of my old attendants before.
You talking about P's?
No, on IM.
Okay. I was on TV? Or I was on the website?
Never mind.
So apparently, wait. I only say that because one of the 4th years, right, for P's, apparently, somehow they took a picture of me. And I was on TV, or I was on the website, and I didn't even know. So they were like, I saw you on the Peds website for residencies. I guess there weren't too many like black males.
Wow.
And I was
So
they tried to put me on there like I was some type of resident. Apparently.
Don't get me started about that.
I'm like, wow.
Did they even ask you?
No,
they
I
asked
didn't know
me.
he was on the
I didn't
website.
even
Did they
know I was
ask
on
you
the
to take the picture?
No, I didn't know I was on the website. I saw them
But
taking
did they ask
pictures.
you
Did they ask you to
Now,
be in
you know
the
how
picture?
you know how you sign the stuff like your first year. You know, like once you go to MC.
No, everybody else just be
I
signing
don't know.
stuff.
I just know that I was appearing in this
You
picture,
could've
and
signed your life
it
away.
looks like because you know, so I'm an older guy, so I was like I'm a bald head man. I got the beard, so it looks like I'm like a dope, like you know, like like a resident adult. So
Look
they
at the
like,
rest of us.
huh?
Somebody that looks like you an adult.
No, I know y'all are like adults, but I'm like an old man adult, like you know, like the resident
Gray
adult.
hairs,
Yeah, like like a couple of gray hairs. So like, yeah, that's definitely a resident. But I'm a student. I'm like a 3rd year student. So you gonna put me as a resident? It was terrible. But yeah, I guess that's the reason why I was telling you like, yeah, I'm like, was I on TV, a picture or something like that?
Oh,
Because they be putting me on these pictures, and I don't even be knowing. Like I be on these old
You
posters.
signed the form.
I don't remember signing the form.
You just said you signed it.
I thought this was the form that you signed like your first year. And you're like, yep, this is for like the rest of your career. You know,
No,
the rest of your MC
we didn't sign anything.
I don't know. But anyway, I was on.
But then how did they even know that? Because obviously they didn't say anything to him to say like
sure
you have
didn't.
consent to take this picture.
They sure
so
didn't.
they don't know that he's Devontae Shuford who
Yep.
signed the paper in 2018.
Oh, really?
They had,
That's
they
why I
had
was
one.
I'd be like, I want my
Did
money.
they
I want
ask-
some money. Y'all using my picture.
They had one picture of me, like, and I was like standing in my little suit and tie, and I was like directing the person. I was like, I don't even remember them taking that picture. I'm like, how? Like, when did y'all do that? It was a nice picture, though, so I
They'd
didn't
be like,
mind.
underrepresented.
Yep.
Gotta get the picture to make sure we have diversity.
Man,
But yeah, they had me on there.
terrible.
So I was just asking about the IM. Like, was I on picture? I was on the picture again. I didn't even know about.
So yeah, that's pretty much what 3rd year is like. I'll be able to talk about it myself a little bit more once I get into it, and I'm going to be done with my 2nd year within 2 days. So I'll be able to make a couple of videos about my experiences, and people in my class can also come here in the basement and kick it with me, and we can talk about our experiences within the hospital, seeing patients, seeing different diseases and cases, and give you our insights about it within a couple of months. And that will be a pretty exciting time for us. But first we got to get done with step 1 test. It's pretty much like the MCAT's big brother, or like the ACT's daddy almost. So got that coming up in mid-June. I got a couple more videos coming out before then, and before we get to our 3rd year, but I just want to start off this one letting people know what I got going on. If you want to hear about certain things, hear about certain topics, cases, diseases, let me know. I'll be able to sprinkle them in to the videos, but yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button,